Friends, happy Thanksgiving. It's Everything Mayor live, an impromptu live in the spirit of what Mr. Mayor himself does on every Thanksgiving. I thought I would pop on here and just say hello, catch you up, and have a little fun. Let's see. I don't know who's out there, but I assume some of you are out there. If you missed this, I'll leave it up on the channel. You can watch it later. But if you're in the U.S. and you're celebrating Thanksgiving, I really hope that you're having a good one. Maybe you already had a good one, depending on where you're watching this from. But no doubt, I am happy to be here. Now, fortunately, because I was busy with family, I did not get to listen to John on Sirius today. But there's a few things I would not mind talking about. And thanks to one of you, Kathy, this happened last year too. I got like kind of a summary of what was going on Life with John Mayer on Thanksgiving Day. And no different this year, listener, viewer, Kathy, you helped out and kind of gave me some insight as to what is going on with the new record. And in the spirit of being thankful and grateful, I would just like to say, while I think some of the things we found out today from John talking about, where he's at working on the new record might be maybe disappointing. I know we're impatient. We all want new music. We got to be grateful for the catalog that we have already, out there with him. And I've mentioned this before, it sounds to me like there's some stops and starts. There's probably some things that were completed and then scrapped, and some, directional changes, things that happen along the way. So I have to be honest, I'm not surprised that, he's talking like he's got like 60% of a record done. I'm not surprised by that. And, we're in a different era now. He's not on a major label. He is kind of free to do whatever he wants, which is really cool, but also the world is kind of your oyster. And as we know, we are all amazed at how many different things he's involved in. So, on the one hand, selfishly, absolutely, we want new music, of course. But on the other, I equate this to some comedians who, especially like in the advent of streaming services, that's to me like streaming services. This is I'm managing the stream as we go here. I'm getting a warning that the stream bitrate is low. Some of you are in the chat. Thank you for joining. Does it look okay? Let me know in the chat if you can hear and see me. Anyway, but I equate this to Netflix comedians. It's yes, the record cadence in the past is like maybe you do a record tour and then every 3 years or so you would be getting an album from an artist. And that's kind of the cadence we got while John was on Columbia Records. But as far as like comedians on Netflix, let me give you an example there. A lot of times I've noticed different comedians, they you see a Netflix special, it's good. See another one, it's good. Then they get to the third or the fourth one and it is a little bit lacking, shall we say. And I think that is because their art is being driven by a contractual schedule. And that does not at all, glean the best art. And I guess maybe you could make the argument, maybe Sob Rock was like fulfilling that last obligation he had for a record contract. And he wants to be careful, he wants to be careful with what he's doing, how he's doing it, what he's doing. I get it. Like, I think that he has the ability to be cautious. He has the ability to take his time, and that's what he's doing. So, I can't complain really in that regard. And I saw, let's see, let me check the chat. This is why like bigger operations, they have multiple people doing things. I'm running a camera, I'm running the chat, and I'm also trying to be an on-camera personality. So I hope it's going okay. Good evening to all of you in the chat. It just anybody out there, does it sound and look okay? That's all I want to know. Just let me know. Just got to make sure. So here's the thing though. So yeah, it sounds to me like, I've heard rumblings of maybe some plans that were in place to tour, but then backtracked on, looks and sounds great. Thank you, Pumpernickel. I appreciate that. I've heard, we've all heard things from John himself, even about like where he's at recording, when I talked to him last year in January, he was, they were in the studio, they were working, he was really excited about it. But like I said, like I really do think, not having to put anything out there means that, when he's ready, he's ready. And that's it, and I think that will bode well for the art. I think it'll bode well for the songs, because when you do get a song or an album, it's going to be something that he wants to be out there, and he's not putting it out because he feels like he has to. Because like I said, you look at a lot of Netflix like comedians. I know people even talked about like Adam Sandler, for example. Like, he's contractually obligated to make a lot of movies for Netflix, and that doesn't always mean that they're going to be the best movies when you're just fulfilling a obligation. So if you're an artist, I think you could probably relate to that. And also, and again, this is like at the risk of comparing myself to someone like John Mayer, which I'm not doing. I do understand the desire to do something different. That's how I ended up on YouTube, honestly. Like, I had the desire to do something different than singing for a living, playing guitar for a living, playing gigs that I maybe didn't want to do. It just like it's a grind, and you want to try something different. And I have other interests, I have other abilities, other talents, and it was like that's what drew me to doing this. I get asked all the time. I got asked today a million times, "Hey, are you still playing? You don't see any dates on your website. Are you still out doing things?" In my mind, I'm sitting here thinking like, well, I put out like tons of videos, whether it's here on my main channel or premierguitar.com every month. And it's, but it doesn't mean that people aren't seeing those things. It's hard to explain to relatives also sometimes like what I'm doing when it comes to YouTube. But yeah, so I mean, I kind of get it, like, because you get to a certain point, and you got to remember, I mean, Mayer's been at this for coming up on 30 years, with like starting out with like lo-fi masters in the late 90s up to getting signed and Room for Squares, and before that Inside Wants Out, up till now. I mean, you're going to have to try. You got to cut him some slack. He's gonna want, and he's got a lot of interests. So I guess maybe that's why I'm less disappointed about hearing that maybe a new record isn't as imminent as we once thought. I mean, I did a whole video about predicting Driftin' as like the first single that would have already been out by now, based on its being added to digital rights management catalog of John's. And who knows, maybe that was a plan at one point and it just didn't happen. We don't know. But anyway, so that's that. I unfortunately did not get to listen to it today. I did hear at 7 p.m. Eastern that the set from the Big House opening for Zach Bryan was aired. So I do have the Sirius app on my phone. I believe I can go back in time on that. I think I can rewind, I hope at least, because that's something I really, really want to hear. I would love to do some breakdowns of those performances. If anybody listened to that, put it in the chat here. I would love to know, whether or not you heard that set and whether or not you heard anything throughout the day. Did any of you get through and talk to him? That's kind of cool. I didn't actually submit anything on the Drop a Line to John, app or, website that they came out with, which is really cool, by the way. But did any of you actually get to talk to him? I would love to know. Yes, let's see. I think the longer he gets to work, the better it's going to be when it lands. I agree, Chase. It's just that, when was Sob Rock? Sob Rock was 2021, I want to say. You can fact check me on that. Kathy, you listened. I know that. Thank you again. I do think, it's going to be, as much as I want in my world, Mayer is still super relevant. Anytime he does anything, I am on it. Obviously, I have an entire channel dedicated to the guy. But, I've had to learn this with like Dave Matthews Band as well. Like they're not in the forefront of everyone's they're not in the forefront of everyone's mind. So, oh wow, hello from India. Amazing. Good to see you. Thank you so much. John's coming your way soon. That's going to be really cool. Let's see. Monique, you're saying the live set was really great. I can't wait to hear that. I'm jumping all over the place. Normally I'm a little more organized. Normally I don't have the pressure of a live audience when I'm doing a show. So thank you for bearing with me here. But, I'm super excited to check out the live recording that they put out tonight on Sirius from the Big House, because the intro to Belief on that, which I believe was the first song of the night, if I do remember correctly, was insane. It was so good. Listen to Greg Fillinganes on the keys and the chords he's playing, and then John solo over that. Just ridiculous. And I didn't get to go to any of those shows. So super cool that he decided to put that out on Sirius. And that speaks to something else that I've thought a lot about, is like, and I've heard him talk about too, is like not putting out a live album, because I've always thought like, hey, you've had some pretty epic tours and shows. Think about the shows where he's done Continuum front to back. Think about some of the shows or songs from the solo acoustic tour. I mean, he has a wealth of live recordings that have only really been sprinkled here and there onto Life with John Mayer. He could really delve into the Dead and Company, Dave Matthews, Fish world, where they are regularly releasing live shows. And honestly, I feel like that would quench a lot of the thirst for new music. It's not necessarily going to be new music, but I got to tell you, there are certain versions of I Guess I Just Feel Like, where it's like at the end of it, it's epic, it's notable, it's people mark that date on a wall of like, that version of I Guess I Just Feel Like was amazing. This intro to Belief was amazing. So I would like to think that maybe a live album would be a possibility again someday. I did see rumblings on Reddit that he was talking about doing a Christmas album after he turns 50, which I think that would be kind of interesting. If you can again, I didn't get to hear him today, so I'm operating off of, second and third hand information, but I think that would be really cool. We've heard him do some more standard-esque things with Tony Bennett, Chris Bodie. So I think John's voice actually works really well for that crooner kind of thing, which is kind of cool. Like Barbra Streisand, he did a tune with, which is really great. Let's see. Where the Light is the best thing he's put out, in my opinion. We do not deserve how good the film and music quality was on that album and film. You know what's interesting is I went back and listened to Where the Light Is recently, and I will agree, because I had the DVD back in the day too, and I had the Blu-ray actually. So that experience was. You're right. It is a film. I would call it a film. It is a masterpiece, both in what was being performed, but also what it looks like. And that's tough to top. It really is. So I don't blame him. Like, if part of it is, the advent of these things, you have basically an HD video from every show, and the microphones are pretty good on iPhones and the like these days. And then every once in a while, some board audio gets leaked and somebody syncs it up on YouTube. So you get kind of a pseudo live record. We get these things on Sirius that he's putting out. So I get it. Like, having a live release maybe isn't like, necessary. But I got to say, like, I would love it. I mean, like the 2019 tour, the non-album tour for 2019, there are some shows from that tour where, like, please put that out on a live album. Like, it would be amazing. Just put it out on any of the streaming platforms. You don't even need physical copies. But there could be a whole host of reasons why he's not doing that. Legal, whatever, but I certainly would be very excited about it. Equally as excited about that, maybe in some ways more excited about that than a new record. But we wait, and when it comes, I'm sure it will be great. Where the Light has taught you how to play guitar. That's some great teaching, because you get three incredible eras, three incredible versions of John Mayer. You've got acoustic ensemble, John Mayer trio, and then the full band. I Don't Trust Myself with Loving You on Where the Light has inspired me to pick up guitar. Legit changed my music journey. Yeah, see, Pumpernickel, there you go. I'm telling you. It's great. It's great. And that's true. I love hearing that, because, Mayer really, he inspired me too. I mean, like, big time. It was not my first inspiration, but I had already picked up the guitar and kind of dove into that world. And then when he came along, I was like, oh my gosh, like, look at this, person, look at how they're playing. It led me to dive into more Hendrix. It led me to dive into Stevie Ray Vaughan, all those things. And it's really cool to see other people experiencing that as well. So I know the chat's a little bit, it's a little bit on a delay. So having a full-on conversation with you via the chat is difficult, but let me know where you are listening from if you are comfortable doing so. Let me know if you listened to John on Sirius today. Let me know if you got through and talked to him, or if you got through via text and he read something that you wrote him. I did not attempt to make contact, as some of you have asked, because I didn't really know what to say. I said a lot early in the year to him directly, so it didn't really have, maybe I should have just said hello, but hello, John, if you're watching now. And happy Thanksgiving to all of you who are celebrating, who are in a place that is celebrating the American Thanksgiving holiday. I've never done this. This is the first time I've gone live on this channel. Should I do it more? I'm asking you a lot of questions, and I so appreciate all of you who have decided to log on, because honestly, I expected there to be nobody right now. But I figured, hey, why not? Even if you're on the West Coast, we're approaching 10 p.m. on the East Coast. You're probably winding things down. I feel like most of the football games are over at this point. So maybe I'm on your TV, maybe I'm on your phone. Sweet. Oh, there we go. Greendale, Wisconsin. Excellent. Did not try to contact the channel. That's okay, Kathy. I totally understand it. Key West. What's up, Billy? Good to see you. The Belief intro, that's one of those things that, the Belief intro on Where the Light is really great too. It's really great. John Mayer show today. No, there's not, but it's funny. Charles, you should ask that question. And you got to go back to work. Chase, thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Netherlands, amazing. Welcome, Charles. And I'm going to answer your question. No, there's not a John Mayer concert today, but he did play a live recording at 7 p.m. Eastern time here from when he played in Ann Arbor, Michigan earlier in the year. But it's funny you should say, is there a concert today? Because for a long time, tonight was a big night for Mayer. He would go to the theater where David Letterman did The Late Show from, and he would put on an entire show. And a lot of times it was aired on the evening of Thanksgiving. So Thanksgiving has always been a cornerstone, a milestone, a marker for Mayer and his music. And a lot of those performances are still out there. You can go back and check those out. I can't remember how many years in a row he did it, but it became sort of like a takeover. He would take over the Letterman Theater and just do his thing there on the evening of Thanksgiving. So it is actually not unrealistic question to say, hey, is there a Mayer show tonight on the night of Thanksgiving? I think you're right on with that, actually. Cool. What's up from LA? Keep up the streams. I will. Oh, he talked about Letterman on his show. Very good. Very good. I remember so this is funny because it's like you associate certain artists. Like I have certain artists I listen to and they're very like fall centric, artists. And Mayer is, because of the history that he's now carried over into SiriusXM, Mayer is the Thanksgiving artist to me, for sure. Is there a Mayer song that is the most Thanksgiving-ish to you? Perhaps Stop This Train. I don't know. Okay. The band filmed Last Waltz on Thanksgiving. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Did you see that he was number 1 on the list of top 50 SNL shows? No, I did not see that. number one as in music guest, I'm assuming. And was that the guest spot he did, or was it when he was on there for the Heavier Things promo? I don't know. I'll have to check that list out. I didn't see it. I did not see it. We're probably going to do 30 minutes tonight, just to let you know. We're at minute 20. If I can fill another 10 minutes, we'll do 30 minutes tonight. Because like many of you, I am also tired. I'm sure you're tired as well, but I'm tired in a good way. I'm thankful. And I guess the last 10 minutes of this, I can spend being grateful and thanking you, because honestly, this has turned into something that I just did not expect it to turn into. I broke off. I had a lot of this type of Mayer sort of fan and gear content on my main YouTube channel. And there came a point where I was like, this is so segmented and so, the Frank Ocean performance. Yes, because of his guitar solo. Sorry, it's so fragmented because I'm reading the chat and then trying to tell a story. But yeah, so I broke it off and I put it all on this channel. And it's really it's been like a hobby kind of thing for me, because my work on Premier Guitar and my work on my channel, it's work, it's with a specific goal in mind. This was literally just to nerd out on John Mayer stuff, and I did not expect it to grow to where it's grown. We're knocking on the doorstep of 5,000 subscribers now. We've got tons of members. And if you're wondering what the membership thing is, I'm not trying to sell you something, but if you become a member at a certain level, the Born and Raised Again level, you get a bunch of extra content. All the members get episodes before they come out. But like, it blows my mind that people are that into what we're doing here to join as members. And we're breaking down. I have a whole series, Mayer Multi-Tracks. Go check that out. It's in progress. We'll talk about it later. But I just have to spend a minute and say thank you, because I look forward so much to this. Even though it is another outlet of content I have to produce content for, it is so refreshing to do this. And really, honestly, while yes, I enjoy talking about John and his music, it's because of all of you who comment, who listen, who are members. I have such a different motivation and satisfaction from this channel. I want videos to do well, but I don't care. Like, I just want to connect with people. If 100 of you watch a video and that's it, that's fine, because I know those 100 people are here for the same reason I'm here. It's because we're such big fans of this music. And that is just incredibly satisfying to me. And the fact that it's grown to the point where I could be talking to all of you and so many of you on Thanksgiving night is just awesome. And I wanted to come on here and say thank you and say that I'm grateful for it. And I'm going to keep going. And it's a lot of fun. Oh, yeah. And you know what? Pumpernickel, you're right. Just imagine the content I'll be able to produce when the album news comes out. You are absolutely right, because this was all sort of born out of the Sob Rock release. That was when I decided to, like, hey, I want to do something else on YouTube aside from just post my music or cover songs. So I started talking about that record. I started talking about different things, around that release, and there was a ton of interest. There are some of you here today who followed me back from my channel. I used to do Mayer Mondays on that channel over here. So that's how long this has been going on. And I'm just incredibly grateful that you would follow me and come over here and talk about these things and join as a member, comment on videos, message me directly on Instagram. Like, I'm just so happy about it. And it's just really, again, while it is like more work, when I get done with like Premier Guitar stuff or stuff from my channel, like this never feels like work. It's always like I'm excited to go do it. I never feel like, oh, I have to go do an episode of Everything Mayer. No, it's great. And I'm just so appreciative of all of you, because honestly, I know it's cliche, I know it's cheesy, but it's like, there would be no point in doing it if it wasn't for such an incredible community of people that comes together to talk about these things. And I'm just the conduit. So I'm just the person who presses the record button. And no, absolutely not, Kathy. You are not annoying. I love it. I owe you some emails. I know I do, and I'm so sorry. I will get back to you. And yes, thank you. I'm trying to do a great job, Charles. And you're a little bit jealous that I met him. Yeah, speaking of meeting John, like I have a whole video on that. You can see me that night after he called me up, and I went backstage and met him and talked to him, and he was so kind and so gracious. I just have to make something clear. That was never my goal. Like in some ways, that was kind of like knocked me back a little bit, because I'm like, okay, so what do I do now? Like, it's like, do I keep going? I mean, it kind of like the holy grail of him knowing, recognizing me and calling me out and then wanting to talk to me. Like, where do you go from there? Well, like that was never the goal, not the goal. Incredible that it happened. Hope I get to talk to him again. But I mean, it wasn't the goal for me. So it was a little bit mind blowing. So thank you. Don't be too jealous. I mean, there are many people who have met John Mayer, so it's not, I'm not that special. But so I'm very grateful for that as well. But, all right. So I said we would do 30 minutes. We'll do 30 minutes. And I see, a lot of you have hung on here. I feel like I should give you something for logging on and watching me on the night of what I probably said Christmas at some point on this thing, because I'm so tired. Logging on and talking to me on the night of Thanksgiving. I should give you something. Give you a little tidbit of what's coming, because I have things that are coming. I can't totally tell you yet, but I'll give you a clue. How about that? Can I give you a clue of what's coming up on the channel? I think I'll do that. I'll make you wait just a second, because I'm going to read some more chats here. But let's see. Becky, so good to hear from you, Becky. I got to be on his brother Carl's Instagram trivia show. Oh, that's cool. So much fun. Yeah, I mean, that would be fun. I've thought about that. I've thought about that, but I don't want to be like, I don't know. But I mean, maybe I would do well on the trivia show. On the the $15 game show, or is it $5? What is that? I forget the dollar amount. It's 15, I think, right? How did you do when you went on? Did you do well? Where can you find my main channel? It is linked on the home page of this channel, or you can just search Tom Butwin, TOMBUTWIN. And if you happen to be a guitar player and you like guitar stuff, go to premierguitar.com or their YouTube channel, and I'm all over there. I do 4 videos a month for Premier Guitar. So my face, whether you like it or not, is there quite a bit. And I'm testing out and demoing all of the latest gear, in the guitar world. And $15 and you won 10. That's pretty good. I feel like, right? I think you did pretty well there. Pretty cool. All right. So nearing the end here, and I'll give you this one. I hesitate on this one because I haven't filmed it yet, and I'm very superstitious, and I would hate to put something out there and then have a cancellation, or we got to reschedule it or something like that. But I will tell you, my goal for this channel is to do more interviews of people in the Mayer-verse, the Mayer universe, let's call it. I did an interview with Paul Reed Smith this past summer, and it did really well. A lot of you really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. It was super cool. We got to reminisce about the 40th anniversary, talk to Paul on camera, the whole thing. Really great. So I'm working really, really hard to get more people on to talk about their work with John Mayer. And I've got someone lined up for mid-December. And here's the clue I will give you as to who this person is. He has worked with John 3 times. That's all I'm going to say. You can figure it out from there. Thank you for saying the PRS interview was great. I appreciate that. Hi from Montreal. Hello. I've been to Montreal 1 time, and it was beautiful. I loved it. Amazing city. If you haven't been there, incredible. You have to go. Monique, you went on and missed the first question. See, that's what I'm afraid of. I'm afraid of going on Carl's game show and then missing the first question. That would be my biggest fear. Embarrassing myself, not being able to answer something that I should be able to answer. I got to tell you, I'm really enjoying the live stream format. I am so tired right now, and I'm so shocked I was able to get this to work, because I haven't live streamed in quite some time. I feel like I did a live stream on my channel when I hit 10,000 subscribers, which was like 3 years ago. And then I did 1 or 2 member live streams. So we might reinstitute those. But I think we should do, I mean, again, like I go back up in the chat and see here. But whoever said like, oh, can you imagine the content when John puts out a new record? Yes, like that's where I feel like, or he's on tour. Like we could do, a recap or a live stream during a tour, during a show. That would be really fun, and I look forward to doing that. I think we will do that. But one last thing I want to mention, if you and I got to do it. I got to do the promo. If you want to support the channel, please consider being a member. But here's the other thing too. I am really, really, really interested in your feedback. And I'm having a ton of fun doing these Mayer multi-track breakdowns. If you don't know what that is, I'm taking every studio track that John has recorded. So think of all the studio albums, Room for Squares, Heavier Things, and so on. And we're breaking it down track by track. And I don't mean track by track as in like song by song. We are doing that. But I'm putting it into Apple Logic, which is a DAW or digital audio workstation. You can break it out into what's called stems. So we can isolate the guitars. We can isolate the vocals, isolate the drums, the bass, the keyboards, the horns, you name it. And listen to each part individually and build it on top of each other to see what makes up those songs. I'm having such a good time doing that because I'm discovering little musical tidbits that exist in these recordings I've been listening to in some cases for 25 years that I didn't know were there. Super cool, super fun. It's only accessible to Born and Raised Again level members. So check that out. I would love to see you over there. We're 3 tracks into Room for Squares. So come on board and help me out and support the channel. If you've been around before, you know what that music means. It's time to go. Let's see. Looking forward to those interviews. Thank you, postcards from JM. Love it. JM, yeah. There you go. And I hope JM. JM coming on the show would be wild. So we'll see. We should do a small tour where he only plays Born and Raised. I think John should do a theater tour. I think he should do a tour of like 3,000 seat theaters with the full band. That would be incredible. All right, more to follow. Happy Thanksgiving and good night from Everything Mayer.